In 1989, a little flick came out by Joe Dante, director of The Gremlins, that focused on suburban life. Specifically, nosy neighbors, wanting to know what the heck is going on across the street. And a supporter of the channel recently demanded I talk about this movie, so here we go. 1989's The Burbs. As I stated, this was a supporter request. I want to give a big shout out to Master Sergeant over at patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. He's at the highest tier over there, which is unobtainium. At that level, he gets a movie request every single month, or a rant, or a movie feud, or whatever other show I've done in the past. He gets to demand I do it, and I have to. He also gets 4 additional movie requests a year. So that's a total of 16 this guy's getting from me, all for being that awesome supporter. I'm not gonna lie, I checked out Rotten Tomatoes and I was actually shocked to see this thing at 53%. That's a rotten score. And the audience score isn't like impressive either, 71%. There's a good chunk of people that don't like this movie, and I'm trying to figure out why. I thought it was freaking great. I hadn't seen it in a long time, and keep in mind, I didn't watch it when it came out in '89. I was not very old at the time. I only saw it probably 15 years back. And now again, a couple days ago to refresh my memory. And I have to say, it holds up incredibly well. For starters, it's under 2 hours, which is music to my ears for most films. It's an hour and 40 something, hour 40 and change. It's got Tom Hanks, Bruce Dern, Carrie Fisher, Corey Feldman, and Rick DeCommon. The premise is incredibly simple and to the point. Ray Peterson's a man of work. He likes to get stuff done, but he also wants to take a vacation once in a while. And this time, it's a staycation. Doesn't want to go to the cabin. He doesn't want to get out of Dodge. He wants to stay in the comfort of his own home, put his feet up, walk around in his robe, and occasionally see what the hell's going on across the street. Because there's something afoot over there. At all hours of the night, these people are up. There's lights coming on from the basement. There's dudes dragging stuff out into the garbage can. They're digging holes in their backyard and burying something. What is happening? Well, that's what Ray and his nosy neighbors intend to find out. This is a mystery, this is a comedy, this is a thriller. It's got kind of a Ghostbusters-esque vibe to it. I wouldn't say it's dark humor, but it's definitely on the darker side. It's got a banging soundtrack, it looks good, it holds up very nicely, and it has some fun effects from time to time. This is obviously not a special effects powerhouse. It's pretty much just the neighborhood, night and day. But the opening is pretty cool. We have the planet Earth, and then the camera zooms in and keeps zooming in through the neighborhood. I mean, this came out in 1989. Of course, they could do that today with modern CGI, but back then, it was pretty solid, and it holds up, like I said. I just watched this. And I really like Tom Hanks in comedies. He has a funny voice. The voice alone sells the jokes, but the jokes are solid. A lot of witty dialogue, some good slapstick humor. It plays on different neighborhood cliches. You have the hot neighborhood wife. You have the retired war vet who still raises the flag in the morning. He wears his attire. He's got all his gear, and he's still ready for combat. There's the incredibly paranoid best friend who seems to do nothing with his life outside of look at what other people are doing. And then Corey Feldman as Ricky is hilarious because he's just here for the show. He's not really directly interfering with anything. He's just having buddies over and they're watching all of the shenanigans unfold. And what's great about movies like this is you genuinely don't know as it's unfolding if the neighbors are in fact psychopaths doing crazy experiments and killing folks, or if the neighborhood has gone out of their mind and they're actually the threat. And I'm not gonna give this away, even though it's an old movie, I do suggest you give it a shot. If you're looking for something to watch that's not coming out in 2023 because a lot of it's trash, go back and watch a little gem that for some reason is critically panned on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, come on, why? Why? Rotten Tomatoes wasn't even a thing when this came out, and there's only 38 reviews on there for this. So you know what I'm gonna do? After this review goes live, I'm going on RT and I'm gonna put in a fresh score. We're gonna bump that number up a little bit. It's gonna make a difference when there's only 38 reviews. That 39th, it's gonna bump it up a little bit. I'm not a mathematician, but we could maybe get to fresh if a couple more people do that. I'm Rotten Tomatoes certified. I think it's funny because I just think it's funny. Because I don't consider myself like a snooty professional movie critic. But I tricked someone over there to give me the badge. of honor or dishonor, depending on who looks at the site. Okay, those are my thoughts. Thanks again, Master Sergeant, for being an awesome Unobtainium supporter. If you like the channel as much as he does, I highly suggest heading to Patreon. If you don't like it as much as he does, I suggest heading to Patreon. There's a $1 tier, for crying out loud. Same with YouTube Join. You get all the same perks. Lots of different fun things to be had over there. I think it's worth it. Comment below. I want to know your thoughts on The Burbs. Am I out of my gourd? Is this a terrible movie? Are the 38 critics correct? For the most, well, half of them, I guess over half of them. Let me know. And please smash the living hell out of that subscribe button. I need the subscribers. I gotta have them. And lastly, notification bell has to be pressed. Otherwise, these aren't going to show up in your feed when I post new episodes, which is done several times a week. You might be missing the goods, and I'd hate for that to happen. All right, those are my thoughts on The Burbs. See you next time.